So good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for joining. It's good to see a room full of people. The last few days were quite messy in Mumbai, and we had enabled work from home for our colleagues, but now everybody's back, so happy to see all of you here. So a very warm welcome again, Paolo, to be here, and welcome to everybody for this fireside chat with our global CEO. And we're extremely honored and excited to have you here. Thank you for paying a visit to India yet again. We also have with us Alexander Bobbert, who's our head of global supply chain. We have Ashwini Kannan. We all know her. She used to be with us, and now she's the strategic EA to Paolo. And then, of course, our very own Nitin Chalke. He's back here, who's now the MKL Asia Pacific. So let's have a round of applause for the leadership team who's visiting us. All right, so the format is that, we have a few set of questions that we collected via a email that we sent or a scanner that we sent. So we have some questions from our colleagues, and I will be moderating the session for you, Paolo. So thank you once again for doing this for us. All right, so the first question that we have is that actually our colleagues are very keen to know you a little better. So would you like to, or would you please be kind enough to share a bit of your professional journey with us and, all the secrets to your success?
Wow, that's a good one. Happy to do so. And maybe I can start. Share. Does it work? Yes.
Yes.
Maybe let me start before I talk about my career. Let me start maybe 2 sentences why I'm here, and I'm happy to be here. And also, thank you for the very warm welcome. Why it's great being here, and I will share about my career in a moment, is that I think it's a very special moment for being here. What does make it special? There are maybe few points. Point number 1, it's obvious. We had a couple of changes. You just have welcomed a long line of colleagues,
yes,
and to have meeting with us. We have Tarunesh with us. And I took over the positions not so long ago. We have a new chairman in the group. And people might say, so many changes at one time. Well, yes and no. Then if we look at these changes, these are all consequences of a well-prepared plan. I will come to this in a moment when I talk about your first question.
Sure.
But why it is in reality a very special moment for being here? Then if I look at India as a country, but very much as our so much loved KG India, our entity, you all together, I feel it's the right moment being here, as now it's the moment to acknowledge one special effect, namely that India is moving with big steps from being, and allow me to be in this protected environment, also including colleagues on video, from being one of our young KGs, the kind of the new kids on the blocks, a lot of success coming from first moving 25 years. We have celebrated, I think it's, help me, 2 years ago, two
Yes,
years ago.
that's right.
Which it sounds like a long time, but in Schindler this is a short time, right? We have KGs which are 150 years old in Schindler. Why is it special now? You are now part of the transition from this kind of a new KG team growing together to what I call one of the super top mature KGs. Allow me 2 sentences to explain what it means. And I will keep it as simple as possible. It is very much the same when a family member, which has been taken care of with all the positive and you might think negative points, moves to be a family member which takes care of others. When we grow within a family, the thing which changes is not our personality, but very much our role within the family. We become from parents who takes care about our children, maybe to someone who appreciate to be taken care. So it means our children to grow, and when we are sons and daughters, we out of the sudden starts, as all of us we do, to take care about our parents. Now, if we bring this analogy to business, what does it mean? You together are now participating in transition of KG India moving to the beautiful but also very responsible status of a mature big KG. Some of you might say, but we are already mature big KG. Yes, but think about the 5 big KGs, entities we always mention in Schindler. Might be there Switzerland, might be there Germany, might be the US, might be Brazil. These are very old entities. No? You can say back to 150 years experience. Now KG India, after 25 years, welcome to the club. In my personal opinion, you are in the moment to joining this club of very mature contributing KGs with all the beauty and all the responsibilities. And therefore, it's a good moment being here. By the way, this happens in a time, if I may link this to the country, in which you are participating in what is the most amazing business development we can have all over the planet. There's no second country with that power, with that economical future like India. And if I put both together, so that's the secret. This is one of the reasons why I love being here right now, and also our VRA, part of our board, together with our chairman, will join us by tomorrow. And this brings me to your first question back, so I don't leave it unanswered. Well, maybe let me start with something quite personal. I started my career, like maybe some of you in the room, as a technician. I was doing an apprenticeship. I was working a couple of years as electrician until someone told me, you should do something for your education, go back to school. And this was maybe with limited success, but I did it. And afterwards, I started first my academic career, which brought me to 2 degrees, one in engineering, the second one in economic. And well, to preempt a question about career and success, I would never bring both in the same sentence. You were saying, what brought you here? For me, and this is an advice I can give to everyone, success is quite independent from career. Success is what should make all of you, all of us, happy every day, independently of which career step we do. By the way, there's a lot of us, of you. I was having this for a while, having what we call a functional career. So career is not just the next step, the next leadership position. Career is also growing in a technical function. And this I also did part of my life. Then I was working in building automation systems for a while. And actually, I joined the elevator industry and Schindler only in 2010 in Germany. And there where my, apprenticeship in elevator business started. First lesson I had to learn: before you haven't spent 10 years in elevator business, you better don't speak. Maybe I made it in 8, but it took a long time until I understood how the business works. And afterwards, I was leading the KG of Germany. This is not a secret. Having the honor of leading Europe North, as let's say today I would be colleague of Nitin. And then the last 3 years, as many of you know, part of the recovery journey of the group. And now here, being very happy of being part also, as I said before, this beautiful period in India.
Great. Thank you. And what an inspiring story from an apprenticeship to where you are today. So excellent. And you talked about liking being here in India, and I'm sure you've been here a few times. So What's that one thing you notice about India when you land? India, its people. What's that one thing that you notice?
There's something which I notice, I like to share something which I appreciate, and those of you who spend more time with me know, it's this uncopied positive energy you sense when you land here in India. And this is very common. This is something which I really love, I must say. And I say uncopied, then there's really for me, traveling around a lot around the globe, not so many places where you really meet so many happy people. And when I say happy, it means happy with what they do and proud of what they do. And this is something which is always very touching for me when I'm in India. And also, this I can say also applies to our beautiful family here.
It's a great thing to notice, the positivity that we have. I think India is a difficult market, but yet I think we move on with a lot of positivity. All right, so now moving in, getting your insights in a bit around the industry that we operate in. So now that, especially, I'm sure you're keeping this view as you make decisions. So how do you see the elevator and escalator industry evolving globally in the next 5 to 10 years? What are some of the significant changes that you think will come in? And
I have personally one observation to share, which is really personal, and then maybe one which you might have heard more times. I think what is shaping our industry the most, beside of the economical cycles we have, Europe in the situation Europe is, US, Brazil, then China. Will not waste so much time on this one, you know it yourself. There's a component of digitalization. This will shape our industry, I'm truly convinced, internally by artificial intelligence, externally by further evolution of our products. But there's a third component which I think is shaping our industry, and I'm truly convinced is something we have also to address differently, is that we have to recognize elevators to exist since late 1800. You can say 1860, 1870, when Otis was inventing the safety. So now you can calculate how many years took it, and almost around this time, at least 2 companies were founded. It was Otis and Schindler. If you look at the 4 biggest companies in the industry worldwide, it took us altogether 150 years to collect kind of 7 million units in portfolio. That's it. On the planet, we have 22 million units installed. What does it mean? 150 years to create companies like Otis, Schindler, Kone, TK, and many others. If we look today, as we speak, the number of elevators who would need a replacement, we talk about, you name it, 6-7 million elevators again. What does it mean? In other words, theoretically, if an alien would land on this planet with the capability of modernizing all elevators in 3 years, this company would be 3 times bigger than the biggest elevator company on the planet in 3 years. While 4 companies took 150 years collecting the same number of units. I hope it resonates. So if you ask me what will shape the industry the most, is the speed, what we today call modernization, maybe tomorrow we'll have a different color, is addressed. Then by now, I think we are altogether far away of addressing the topic with the right speed and capabilities.
All right, so the speed, digitization, those are some of the...
Together with modernization, yeah.
Modernization, right. And, as you've taken on this role, what do you think are some of the priorities that you're going to set for Schindler globally? And then for India, what are some of your expectations?
Well, when it comes to customer, if you ask me what is my expectation, I have less of an expectation. I have a clear understanding what finally makes customers staying with us. And it is not the price. Very often it's even not the technology we offer. I'm truly convinced in everything we do, what keeps a customer supplier relationship standing for long is, long lasting is the feeling you have. Feeling, it's not just an emotion. It has to do with trust. It has to do with pride. How proud can someone be of being a customer of Schindler? So if you ask me what does make really the difference in customer excellence is how much you can make the partners working with you proud of being your partner. It's the same like we have at home. It's the same like we have with things we love. If you are proud of showing it, then we love keeping it. Right. If we have to apologize for it, let's take it to extreme. It becomes obvious. You don't stay for long. So let's think about what makes our customers proud of being our customers. This is for me the ultimate proof of the concept of a well understood customer excellence approach.
Right. So I think prioritize customer centricity. I think we had a recent leadership excellence program where the KG and the KW team came together, and we had an external facilitator, and he was telling us that advocacy is the highest form of where the customer feels proud and then also advocates our products. So I think that's the level of confidence we want to build in our customers. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Paolo. So now, the companies go through cycles of ups and downs. In your view, what are some of the opportunities and challenges that companies in a growth cycle, which we are in, and especially India is in, should be mindful of?
Oh, two. When an entity, by the way, this is I think it's independent of the business, but now we are in elevator business. When you are growing in a growing market, there are two things which can go wrong. Number one, you orient yourself on your budgets. We are growing 15%. What, 15%? Incredible. We are growing 15%. Imagine someone else is growing 20%. What are your 15% worth? So point number one is to overestimate your growth by your own judgment and not by the opportunity of the market. The second thing which one should watch out is the costs. As long as you grow in a growing market environment, even everyone feels that you watch out costs, you never do it to an extent like someone who has to survive in a shrinking market. So the second important advice, develop the capability of watching out your costs if you would be shrinking while you're growing. And this is, everybody knows, quite of a difficult capability. But it's the second thing. If you get it right, number one, number two, the profitable growth is an automatical consequence.
So drive growth, have an eye on the costs, drive scale, I think, and drive efficiencies, I think.
Very much.
So, all right. You spoke about this, but maybe if you could elaborate a little bit more on customer centricity. So what it means for you, we understood, is about making the customer proud. And but in an industry like ours, how critical it is, because we also have the demanding customers, and sometimes we may not be able to fulfill their demands. How do we balance what the organization can provide versus what the customer wants?
Well, how to balance? At the end, I think every organization must be capable of delivering what the customer demands. Otherwise, you cannot survive. Well understanding that there are always cases something goes wrong. It's obvious, right?
Right.
And there, the only thing which really keeps a good relationship alive is communication. If you ask me what to do when something goes wrong, first of all, can we avoid that things go wrong? Well, we should try, not all the time possible, right? It's
right.
What you say. What we should learn to do better in India, but also elsewhere, is to proactively communicate the issue, proactively share internally with the colleagues, but also with the customer. This is the problem I got. So sorry about that. Trust me, I'm working on it. By tomorrow, by next week, I have the solution. Bear with me. This proactive engaging while solving the problem is something we have to learn to do better. We normally work on the resolution of the problem, but we don't say anything. And we let the customer discover after 2 weeks that we have solved it. But in these 2 weeks, this lady or gentleman got 3 heart attacks. So I think we cannot avoid mistakes from happening. What we can improve is the way we communicate and engage with, if it is a customer, our customer, or with each other during the resolution of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, conversation can solve a lot of things, and communication, proactive communication can be extremely welcoming. And, you know, we propagate that even internally when we meet our colleagues, we listen, we take their feedback, and I think the similar approach to customers.
Very much. I think communication is the thing you can influence the most. And interestingly enough, is one of the topics we ourselves in all our surveys complain of being the worst. So it's a kind of phenomenon, but if we work on that, we cannot resolve the issues, we can make them much more digestible.
Right. Okay, so there's a question that in the Indian market, some brands seem to enjoy strong loyalty. What's the one thing you think we must do to make customers actively ask for Schindler by name and for us to remain competitive beyond price?
Oh, these are 2 questions in one, huh? To remain competitive beyond price, I think the only way to remain competitive is to over-stress yourself on costs. Goes with my point of before. Whenever you think you have done enough on costs, you just start working on it. It's not about saving, it's about avoiding costs. You can do a cheaper vacation, you can do no vacation. Okay. So what is the best? So you decide. We very often confuse the I do cheaper, which is very much a loss of quality, with what can I do to avoid? Now, vacation, you should not avoid. But if it is something, a process, if it is something like even in product development, in a component, we can absolutely save. This should be the ultimate goal. So first of all, a good way to stay competitive is to challenge you all the time, what can I avoid, instead of just what can I make cheaper. The second part was how to make a customer, and it goes with my answer before, proud. How you can create proud customers. To be proud of something or someone or of a partnership, you need to have, first of all, the same values. Then you have to have a confirmation of these values. And then you have to make this person, we work with people, thanks God still, a proactive ambassador of what you do. I had the pleasure today, together with Tarunesh, Neeting and some colleagues, to meet customers. I would say these are ambassadors. Are they demanding? Yes. Do they tell us what we have to improve? Yes. Do they promote us? Yes. How did you, the colleagues, get there? I think what contributes the most is not only listening to the customer, but speaking the same language, so not in terms of semantic, but in terms of understanding.
Right.
Speaking the same language, and delivering on what has been discussed. If a customer tells you, hey, can you please work on that? Yes, yes. And after 5 years, can you please work on that? Yeah, yeah. It's a different topic than to meet and say, hey, I would need that. And then either you say, well, this I cannot do, and she or he accepts. But if we say, it's interesting, let me do that, then you have to deliver. I think this can be a job, this can be a development, this can be a service, this can be whatever you want. If you put these 2 things together, speaking the same language, delivering what you have committed to, these 2 are already, in my personal opinion, very good, let's say, ingredients to create what I call customer pride.
So listen, understand, communicate, and deliver. I think that would be something that can differentiate us and maybe help us cut the.
To finish this, yes, to finish the point, sorry, is as we tend to overestimate, yes, we have a fantastic brand, right? And we have a fantastic logo. And everybody connects our products with the logo. But in reality, I like to challenge this a little bit. Then the most of our customers do connect with this beautiful logo. Less of a technical component, much more of a service they've experienced. And allow me, you know, in my jargon, when I talk about service, I don't mean only maintenance. I mean the service you do can also be delivering a new installation, right? So, this is what most of our customers do connect with the logo. It's not the technicality of a product. This they assume we have good products, but the service.
So the service mindset at every stage of interaction with the customer.
Very much.
I think it's extremely important. Right, so I think perfect way into my next question. So what role can our frontline teams play in making India business a success, and what would be your message to them? You met a few of them in the morning, but what would be your message to our teams in the front line?
To become more successful.
Yeah.
As a company.
Yes, and specifically in India.
So then we have to define what is success. And it has less to do with numbers. So therefore, if you ask me how to make the Schindler India more successful, I would say we are here in extremely successful team, which has the beauty of being a successful team already, and has the trap that successful teams believe they are good. So then if you ask me, what can I give for a piece of advice, and I hope I can do it in the meaning I mean, namely full of respect and admiration, never overestimate how good you are. It's always good being humble and truly believe that you can deliver more. And I'm not talking about numbers, I'm not talking about results, I'm talking about quality of service. Be available to your colleagues and to your customers. Be open for changes. Be open for chances. Welcome opportunities. Don't be scared by challenges. Always more than you believe you already do. The moment you start to believe you're successful, actually it's the moment you start just being the opposite. So my piece of advice is enjoy being successful and always believe today is better than yesterday, but still much worse than tomorrow.
Right. So always have that hope for more and
continuous improvement approach. More can be, continuous improvement is more the topic.
Right. When you look at the way the teams are successful or we are successful as an organization, are there things that you see beyond numbers or beyond?
Oh, very much. By the way, do I like numbers? This I will not share here. I truly believe if you look at numbers as the ultimate goal, you start to do a big mistake. And I know that also we in Schindler, the last years, we are looking at numbers as a goal. I remember previously Silvio and myself, we were talking about we have to achieve this 11%, thanks to God, it's all history, as a target. Then we had to come out of a very difficult moment. I'm talking of the Schindler Group, right? Mm-hmm. Numbers can never be a goal. So if you ask me, is there something behind numbers, I would say there are a couple of things which are much more important than any number. Let me name some of them. First and foremost is how safe we do our job. And it is not just a talking here. Safety means to me much more than avoiding to get injured and losing your health. This is the most basic approach, and this I wish to everyone, please be safe, be safe. When I talk about safety, it's about safety also how safe we can do our work. How much can I give a sense of security to my colleagues? This is for me all parts of safety. This counts a lot. If you can create a safe environment, you lay out the ground for a successful team. Next topic, which much behind numbers, is be courageous, never arrogant. It has nothing to do with numbers. People look at numbers and believe, if I do this number, I'm good. If your neighbor does just a little bit more, your number looks very odd. But if you do the best number anyone can do, this number is great. So actually never look at the number as a figure. Look at what it means and make sure this is the best you can deliver. So for me, before the number itself is not the effort, there's no price for effort, is what is the meaning behind the number, and work to achieve that and let the number be a result. So it's a lot of things which are more important than numbers.
I think, so safety, sense of security, which we need to create for our colleagues, which is a sense of belonging and helps us create a great
And
team.
performance would be the third word. Always perform not towards number, but towards what the number is the delivery of.
Right, right. All right, now we'd like to tap into a little bit of your leadership principles. We have a lot of managers sitting in the room, and we do have teams. So maybe some of your advice on how can we all be a good manager? And I'm just using that term because that's how we all know it. But how can we be a better manager every day?
Well, many of us are managers or leaders, right? Or at least we try to be. All parents in the room, I guess we have many. Where are all the parents? Fathers, mothers? Okay. Are we leaders? Okay, let's wait. How many of you have kids? So who is the leader at home? Okay, so now let's talk leadership, right? Let's talk leadership. And then those, Ashwini has heard it many times, maybe some of you have heard it already. For me, leadership, you were talking about managers, a basic mistake, and I mean, you can read all the books about leadership you want, there are thousands. For me, there's a basic mistake in understanding what does it mean to lead. Many people, when you talk about leading, means I'm above someone. I know more and can tell you something. I'm more responsibility, so for me, the very first step to lead is being ready to serve. Are you able to serve your family? Then you lead the family. So does our son, our daughter with 10, with 4, with 5, with 3 lead the family? No, but she might, or he, dictates the rhythm of the weekend, right? This is obvious, at least for all those who have families. As normal as it is at home, when we come to the company, we play all the boss. To have the responsibility for a team, for a company, for a business, doesn't mean to me anything else than to be ready to serve the team, the company, whatever, more than anybody else. And if you think about more than 5 minutes and you translate this, then you find out that this resolves many, many, many issues and answers many, many questions about leadership. This would be my piece of advice to everyone, and you have heard me saying this maybe possibly already when I say to lead doesn't mean anything else than to serve the organization, to serve better our customers.
So the concept of servant leadership that
very much
that we have. Right. No, absolutely. I think at home we are all actually servants. When no one listens to us, so I think.
Listen, yes, but first you serve the family, and then you can ask if you now can watch a football match at the TV. But if the family decides no, you don't. So who is leading?
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to ask a specific question, which is right now relevant to us. Hiring is a subject, especially in India, where it's tough to hire, and there's limited talent, there's limited quality talent, and then there are hiring techniques which everybody has to get their hire right. Is there something that you have used as a method when you have, and I know it's a little bit taking you in the past a little bit, but has there been a hiring technique that you've used to make sure that you hire the right talent?
Well, did I hire the right talents in the past? I cannot look now in any direction here.
Yeah. The question was just tips.
Yeah. let me say it this way. We do often the mistake to hire very easy, and when we have to separate, it's very difficult. Actually, should be the opposite in life. Now we talk responsibilities. We should hire with much more questions. And when we have to separate, we should be able to separate much faster. By the way, in both directions. Now, back to your question, this was helping me all the time. When I had to select people, by the way, it's time back, but in 2 days' time, believe it or not, I have to select people. I might not be able to decide alone anymore if she or he gets the job in the executive committee or not, but it's me making the proposal. And it's me fighting for the person. So it's not changed. Still today, in my position, I have to make a decision for someone. And then how do I make this decision? There are different criteria. First is capability of doing the job. We very often tend to believe, he's a talent, let's give him or her the job, she or he will learn it. This is not bad. Many of us did grow with that, but then she or he gets the job, good luck. Then only 50% of the people actually by coincidence and luck, not by capability, do succeed and learn. The others, by bad karma, don't succeed and fail. So who made the mistake? The candidate? No. So when I hire someone and she or he doesn't have the skills, it's my responsibility to make sure she or he gets the skills to do that. So therefore, as I'm a lazy person, I always tend to identify people who have the skills for the job. So I get rid of one responsibility. Number two, if the person has the skills, never underestimate the rest of the team. If you like to serve the team, we heard it before, a leader, you serve the family, then you serve the team. So your job is, whoever you bring to this team, you don't let the person figure out how she or he fits to the team. You don't let the team accept him or her. If you are the team leader and you select someone, it's your job to make sure that these two, the team, the rest of the team, and the candidate, to fit. It's your job. And I have to say, there I spend personally a lot of time trying to get to the ground of this match fits. These, I would say, are the two, for me, most important criteria. Skills, yes, no. If no, what has to be done? That the person, I'm not a believer that everyone can learn everything. You give the position and you grow in the position. This, I'm not in favor of it. So, skills, yes, no. Second, fit to the team and the team to him or her.
All right, so take time to hire, be very intentional about it.
Don't waste time. Take time yourself to make a conscious decision.
Right, right. Invest in the team, own the person that you've hired.
Yes, very much.
Help them to fit in the team, right? Those are some of your messages. So, sure. This is again related to career and so the question around that. In today's fast-moving world, career growth often feels like a sprint. But meaningful growth, especially in leadership, takes time and depth. So what would you say to a lot of our young professionals who kind of who feel a little restless to get to a certain point?
This is a very, very good question. In today's times, everyone believes the world has changed. I have two grown-up boys at home, my two sons, so they try to teach me every day how the world has changed. And it has and it hasn't. It's not an advice, it's something I learned many years back from someone I still love to listen to. And this person told me something which then later on I found printed on a plate. I tell you in a second where, the same sentence or the same message. And it is, everyone likes to be compared with if you compare career with a tree or your person, everyone likes to be high, to be shine, to be big, to look strong. But the strength of every tree is in the roots. So now, it sounds a bit of old-fashioned approach, and I'm not saying, you have to do this job, and this job, and every job you have to do 5 years. This is not what I'm saying. But if you are not ready to invest in your own roots, I say to everyone, be careful of the speed of your growth. You might become one of those trees which are very big, very high, looks maybe also green and nice for a moment, but the first or second thunderstorm which comes, you can simply not survive. Which doesn't mean you lose the job. Now it comes to the mistake of the young generation, and sorry to all the young, but then I get to the new job. This you can do, it's not what I'm saying. Not surviving a thunderstorm doesn't mean I lose the job and can do another job. It can mean something to your personality. And this for me much more worrying than to lose a job into a new job. So therefore, back to your question, I can only underline a rule which is very old and for me still valid. Always invest in strong roots before you aim for too high height. And you will see, if you have strong roots, the growth is unavoidable. If you grow without roots, you might be lucky and the storm never comes. This, by the way, was quite possible in the last 20 years in many countries of this world. You could do big careers with almost no difficult times. Welcome to the club. Outside of India now, look what is happening now. And everyone, including Schindler, is looking for resilient, crisis-trained leaders. Strong roots are the best recipe for a career. The growth, it's unavoidable.
So I think there's no shortcut to growth. I think having strong roots and spend enough time in the boiler room, as one of my ex-mentors used to say.
By the way, this I like to share here in India. Any of you who has been in Abicon, what is in the center court of our campus? Who knows it? What is there? Plant 81. And there's a plate. The next time any of you is in Abicon, I invite you going to the tree and reading the plate.
Sure. Paolo, since you're here, would like to know, you recently met some of our frontline colleagues who traveled to Abicon. Could you share something how you felt or what was that experience?
Let me include.
They were excited. They were absolutely excited to have met you.
I had colleagues in Abicon, but also this morning, I have to say, and you see me smiling, this is, if there's anything which makes me really proud in this company, is when I can look in the eyes of our technicians and see they tell the entire Schindler story. When I met the colleagues in Abicon, but also this morning and many others, but also outside of India, but very much in India, this pride, this commitment, for me is something which is more than touchy. This is for me really what makes me proud of being part of this company. And by the way, also a long time before I had the honor of leading the company, it was always so energizing. And if I think back to that meeting and also this morning and other meetings with our frontline colleagues, if anyone is following us, really, this is for me what is the core of the company, and every minute I can spend with these colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, is for me always something very special.
And we saw that, Paolo. I think you have a very humble way of approaching, and when you meet the frontline colleagues, and I'm sure you touch their heart as well. So thank you for doing that.
And we should all not forget, this is the core of our company. All you, ladies and gentlemen out there, maybe someone in the room, I don't know, everybody else, and I say it with really respect, we are here to serve these colleagues, those colleagues, making the job.
Sure. So last few, 10, 15 minutes we have, so I have a rapid fire just to know you a little bit more, but we'll do in some time. But one question before that. You talked about the 5 major KGs, and you named Brazil, US, Switzerland. What are some of those learnings from there that you think we can adopt as a KG India, or also maybe some of the things that we should probably not do as well, if at all, any?
Well, let me say, learnings and what we should not do. It's always simple and difficult comparing kgs within Schindler, also entities, operating entities, as the markets are different. Let me maybe say one thing, if I may, to select one, which makes the difference. It's the capability of generating profitable growth based on continuous improvement. It's a bit of combination of some questions you had before, right? What does it mean? A growing, emerging market, respectively a young and then growing entity, has the opportunity of try and error. You grow. You grow in volume. You are not asked to deliver too much results. So you maybe fix the cost later. Then you fix the cost. You bring some results, but you immediately see the growth goes down. You sell much less. This is a typical behavior of someone who is growing. If we go to what I call mature kgs, now allow me to do a bracket around mistakes, which also happen there. This is then where you do a turnaround. Actually, you do a turnaround of a mature entity when mistakes are done and this entity needs a refix, right? But you asked me about comparison to an entity like India. There actually we found ourselves, and we made the experience here, of something which we should not repeat, namely of being in this permanent decision, do I have to grow? I sell like hell and make no money? No, you have to make money. Okay, then I make money. Then I make money and I don't grow anymore in an emerging market. So what is the difference? A mature KG, in which I see you and maybe take this visit as welcoming you to this club, it means there's no excuse. You do both. And you better know how both goes. I see some faces say, yeah, I know. I see some faces say, how should it work? Is it growth or profitability? Whoever has this question in mind, please come to me. I help you resolving this basic mistake. A mature entity can and will do both. You grow with the market and are profitable. Otherwise, you're going to die. This is for me the big difference. This we have learned, it works, and I'm sure it will also work here.
Absolutely. So the message is very clear, profitable growth, and that's what we need
Thank you for the bridge.
Need to deliver. All right. So before my last question, Paolo, there are some things that we'd like to ask you. It's called rapid fire, but you can take 30 seconds probably. What's your favorite hobby or sport?
That's not a secret.
It's not a secret?
Not a secret. Motorsport.
Motorsport? Or jet ski?
No.
Like that?
Motorsport is car and motorbikes. I love watching it. I love doing it.
Okay,
So totally unsustainable. So I hope also for the recording, no one quotes me. If it goes to the media, then we are done. So I love motorsport.
Right. We have quite a few bikers here as well. So
India used also to be have a prominent team, Indian team in the Formula One, yeah.
Yes. One Indian food you have tried or want to try?
Oh, well, so I have to admit, I'm not yet finished. I have an assistant which is challenging me to trying and tasting so many different dishes. I could even not mention all the names. So give me a couple more months. Then if I could ever finish the tasting, I will come with the favorite. But now I must say, I do like the most of the dishes which I had to test.
All right. Maybe, have you tried chole bhature?
Oh God. Yeah, this is, now you know, it's very, I could even not repeat that one. And I must admit, Ashwini does the best to teach me in all the names. This is hopeless. So let me try. I tell you if I like it next time you.
So I was being a little notorious. So Ashwini actually challenged me that she wanted to see if you could name one dish. So I just tried to.
I can see it and say, that's it, but naming it's difficult.
All right. Okay. Favorite way to unwind after a long day?
For me, privacy.
Sorry?
So, after a long day.
Unwind after a long day.
Oh, I love absolute calmness. I love sitting there. I read a lot. Sometimes like in every good movie, I love to have drink. I love whiskeys. I don't drink many of them, but I love them. This is what I do.
And therefore, a book that you would recommend us to read, maybe? Something
Yeah.
that you've read.
Less of a book. We were talking about leadership. There's many books, and people who say about books. I mean, I love a lot of books, but I also love comics. So therefore, I will not start with that one. But if we come to something like a book, and I was sharing this with Ashwini today, there is it's a podcast, actually it's an interview, which I saw many years back with someone, which I can suggest to many of you who are in leadership, but also from the emotional point of view of what does it mean to lead in difficult times. And is the summary actually of 10 quite simple but impressive suggestions made by Sergio Marchionne. He was, many of you will know, he was the leader of the Fiat Group. He came, the family, Agnelli brought him in to rescue the company, which he did. Unfortunately, he died in Switzerland a couple of years back. And anyone who is interested to listen to him, I never suggest to listen to people, but he's one of the leaders, I must also say, who touches me the most, using very simple words to say very true things. So if you ask me, this is something everyone can find on YouTube. It's not difficult to listen, translated in many languages. And I think there's also a printed kind of book about it.
The hits will surely go up for that video today. If you weren't in the elevator and escalator industry, what profession would you be in?
I would be a pilot, sports car pilot. Maybe Formula 1, I don't know, maybe Formula 3, DTM, something like that. But I totally failed, so to be honest. So I tried, I failed, so I'm here.
You can be sure that this team will be cheering for you if you ever do get to that. A skill you think everyone should learn in 2025?
Maybe less of a skill. I think a capability everyone should have in going forward is resilience. Resilience. We tend in our society, less also in our workplace, but also doing work, we tend to over-exaggerate, to overreact, to be very emotional, to quit the job, to go for little things, to be offended. I always suggest a little bit more resilience by keeping agility is something I think would be good for all of us.
Resilience, the ability to bounce back, right? Because setbacks are inevitable. So I think that's a really good message.
But also in a relationship, colleague is not telling you, have you seen that? Calm down.
Yeah.
So let's give it a chance.
Yes. We had an Indian movie where there was a phrase, they say, all is well. So that's, if anything is going wrong, you say all is well. And
not always well, but how you react is the question. No? You should not always take everything for well. If something is bad, say it. That's bad, that's bad, it's terrible, it's unacceptable. You say it, act, but be resilient. It's a difference, right, in overreacting.
All right. So all is not well, but it'll get better.
Yes.
Acknowledge it. Okay, so the last one for this section, which is one word that you'd use to describe the Schindler India team.
It's passion. If there's only one word, I would choose passion.
Yes, and you see a lot of that in the room and on the phone right now.
It's what I sensed the first time I came to India a couple of years back. It's what I sensed the last years in my previous role. Even Sylvia was taking away. It's what I sense now. I think if one word, it's passion.
Excellent. And one last question. So what's your one message to the team as we get on with 2025 and then we get on to a journey where there's so much market potential and we can do so much together? So what would be that message from your side?
Maybe I close the loop to how I started today. If you as a team are really aware of the unique moment you are in, of having a strong team, which you are, in a strong market, which by all probability will be the growing market of the next 15 years, there is no reason for any limitation you give yourself. don't limit yourself.
Don't limit yourselves. It's limitless. So yeah, I think excellent. Thank you, Paolo, so much for answering all the questions patiently.
Thank you.
Before we close, I'd like to invite Tarunesh Mathur, our CEO and President, to come and summarize or close.
Okay.
Hi. Audible? Thank you, Paolo. You made my life much more easier. The question and answers, thank you very much. And really candid and passionate discussion, not only here, but throughout the day. And I think that resonates the maximum between Italy and India. I feel really quite a lot. The passion and the get real philosophy is something that I personally enjoy a lot whenever I talk to you. And thanks, Jyoti, for getting all the questions from all around India and then, of course, presenting to Paolo. Thank you also to a lot of people who are sitting in nice blue and black coats. Thank you to the KW management team, CR&D team. Alex, you are here. Ronnie, you are here. Thank you, everybody. And of course, the KG team is here along with the RVPs over here. So good gathering today. So Paolo set the tone. I would just like to take a minute or a couple of minutes to summarize what I could make out, and maybe Nitin, if you would like to add anything at the end. See, what I sense is we are moving into adulthood, right, as a company. So we were young, we were the upcoming youngster, like the Yuvraj Singhs of the team. For a long time in their career, they're upcoming youngster. Now they are suddenly there, right? And it's like you were driving the best car in Formula 3, but now you are in Formula 1. So you have to, with great power comes great responsibility, and therefore now we are in Formula 1. Let's deal with it. Let's build our capabilities. Let's build our skills and be ready for the exciting journey that we all will take on together in this Formula 1. Yeah. It will not be easy. It will be exciting. And to support that, we are probably in a sunshine market, right? The market is amazing. The elevator densities we know, it's around 0.5, 0.6 elevators per 1,000 people. So imagine the growth that we are all going to give to the market in the next 15, 20 years. And it's important because if people don't move, then India will not grow, right? Imagine the number of trips that our elevators are doing, the number of people we are moving every day. And that's the privilege that we have in this next 10 to 15 years. So let's also be mindful while we are excited about the journey that the promise that we have for our users is that we'll safely and reliably transport them in the urban environments for the next many, many years to come. So some points I took. What is changing, right? A lot of digitization coming in, a lot of exciting things coming in. We love mod. Where's Arun? Arun, congratulations. So we love mod. The opportunity is immense. And I think as the installation base ages in the next 3 to 4 years, we have to capture, not only capture, but be the best company there is ever in mod. And if an alien comes tomorrow to buy a modernization, it should be from Arun. So the alien must come to Schindler. But what was interesting to also hear is what is not changing. I think the business remains a human-to-human business. With all the digitization, artificial intelligence, we should not reduce the natural intelligence, right? So the natural intelligence, that means the human-to-human connect, the customer proximity, the anticipation, the delivery of the commitment that Paolo is speaking about is a non-negotiable, even if you make the best elevator, the best tools, the best product that you could ever be. So people are the cornerstone for this company. Schindler India as a company is built on the passion of all of you, right? Of all of the frontline engineers, fitting technicians, FTS, science inspectors, salespeople, a lot of people who are today listening on the team. So you have built this company, and I think there is no alternate to that. So I think the passion of the people will continue to fuel the growth for India and for Schindler India. So that I think is not changing. And I think what also doesn't change is our core values. We recently were communicating to the management teams and the branch managers that we confirm that our core values remain the same. The boundaries that the company has set for us, the foundation pillars do not change. And I think that's personally for me very encouraging. Even with so many changes, our direction does not change. Some things that Paolo did mention that we should be careful in a growing market is we don't sit on our glory. We keep on challenging ourselves and try to get better every time, challenge status quo. We take care of the costs as we grow. And one thing, if I may add, Paolo, we take care of our core values as we grow as well, because the bigger we are, the harder we fall. So we have to just be mindful of those couple of things. And you know, one thing that I really feel, which Paulo was saying, as the company grows, so will all of us, right? We will all grow together, right? And our suppliers will grow, the employees will grow, you'll have much wonderful roles to play in the future in this growth journey. But in all of that, one risk could happen that we will not, what might not grow as fast is the skills. So remember, our market is growing fairly fast. Attrition is a reality. We have to catch up on that. If your skills are not growing faster than the market, then you might figure out that it's getting difficult when you reach that role. And that's where perhaps I would like to end with your most important message, at least to me and to the audience, is deepen your roots, get more closer to your customer, understand your business even better if you know it. If you think you know it well, go one level down. And when you become more alert about your business, when you think more about your business, the ways will come out on how to grow profitably. The ways will come out on how to get, the preferred player of choice. Again, thank you, Paolo, on behalf of the Indian team, KW, CRD, and everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Jyoti, for organizing. I think thank you also, Pranshu,
Thank you.
and the entire HR team for organizing this. Well,
Thank you. Thank you. So, on behalf of the team, and thank you very much. We're geared up for a lovely stay and a reviews for you tomorrow. Thank you everybody for listening in, and I hope you all have your key takeaways from this. So, thank you, Paulo, again.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Arunesh team, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, once.
Picture, yeah.